Hi there, Moose Scrapper here. Today we're going to take apart a desktop PC and I'm going to show you how to scrap them for wire, copper, steel, and gold. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is take apart the casing of the tower. Usually just a few, turn this one, and there's just one screw here. There we go. There's one piece of steel. Okay, so looking inside this, you're going to find you have some RAM chips over here. These guys just pop right out of the motherboard. It's anywhere from 1 to 4 of them usually. I've never seen a computer that had more than 4 slots for RAM upgrades. These chips pop right out. And that is all gold on there. Very easy to recover this type of gold. Very, very easy. Alright, so the next thing that we want to look at is PCI cards, or cards like this one is a modem. So these should come out fairly easy. Should. And these have all kinds of nice gold on them too, on both sides. And these as well. You can either, there's lots of ways to get money for these. You can take the fingers off and process those yourself, which is what I do. It's very easy to reclaim that gold. And then the rest of the board can be sold to a company called boardsort.com for trimmed finger cards. For trimmed finger cards right now, they're giving $3.35 a pound. That's more than copper. And there's some of those in every computer. Alright. They also buy lithium-ion batteries and everything else that, you know, for some people it's hard to get rid of. Alright, so back to the tower here. Set this on its side and start removing screws. Alright, so we've got a heatsink fan, which my scrapyard will buy as a copper bearing motor. Start disconnecting wires. Now some of these wires in here are going to have gold plated connectors, and I like to put those aside. Of course you don't have to if you don't want to bother with it. You can just throw them in with your regular insulated wire. We've got power supply up here, which depending on your scrapyard you can either sell it as is or take it apart. There's usually a good bit of wire in there, as well as some copper and aluminum heat sinks. Personally, I think it's better to take them apart. So this is your power supply. You're going to find that the power supply is going to have another cooling fan in there. That's another copper bearing motor. This is where the power cable supply comes in. There's little brass prongs in there. And lots of wire. So we'll take one of these apart in another video. Alright, so here's the motherboard. Now, something that you learn something new pretty much every day. Something that I've learned with the motherboards is depending on the color, it makes a big difference in the value of it. If they're green, they're worth the most. This one is not, so it's not worth a whole heck of a lot. But what you can do is take the stuff off of it to make more money. Again, you got these little wires you can pull off. You've got some big chunks of aluminum in here. Yeah, there. This is a heavy chunk of aluminum. Alright. Let's take a look and see what we have here for a CPU. Well, they've got alright. So this is a green board. So it's not ceramic. Ceramics are worth the most. It's a green board without pins. So this is one of the least valuable CPU chips. You can see it's flat. There's no pins there. It's just that gold plated connecting. Now these, you can still process these for gold, or sell them to places like boardsort.com or on eBay, so you'll still make some money off them. They're definitely worth keeping. So you can sell these motherboards as is, or you can process the components separately. So I know my lighting is horrible, but if you look over here, you've got the north and south bridge chips right here and right here. Those have gold in them as well, high gold content compared to some of the other things on here. You have these IC chips. They're scattered, throughout the board. Those contain gold. Where the CPU was, this contains gold-plated pins. These contain the RAM slots contain gold-plated pins. There's gold-plated pins in here as well sometimes. Yep, in these, and as well as in some of these jacks, you have gold-plated pins inside the USB jacks. Sometimes in the video and the printer, etc. So you can take the time and pull these apart, which is what a lot of people do to people who process their own gold. You can see some of the pins going along the edge here. Those are all gold-plated. So there's plenty of gold in here. You can also remove these little bits of copper here and there. You have them all over the place. You can take those off. Those come off pretty easy. And there you have it. So that's what's in that computer. Motherboards, if you were going to sell them to some place like boardsort.com, these would be going for about $3.85 a pound. Alright, so now this component was on the front where you have the option of sticking a lot of different types of cards. There's a lot of gold plating in there, so you want to take that apart to the side. There's a couple of CD-ROMs, DVD-ROMs. There's going to be a board in each one of these that has gold-plated pins in them. So you're going to take those out, and there's a lot of scrap steel and some aluminum in there as well. And then we got the hard drive, and this back here is called a logic board. These logic boards go for quite a bit of money. I know that for boardsort.com, they'll actually give you $6 a pound for logic boards, which is definitely worth putting aside in its own separate bin. Then the casing of these is usually cast aluminum, and I can show you in another video how to take these apart. Alright, so we're almost done with this thing. We've got a few more odds and ends. Just want to pull out here. So again, we got a bunch of wires here that have a lot of gold. All of these have gold plating in the ends. So you're going to want to separate those. And that about does it. So let's see if we can do a final weigh-in. Alright, so for steel, we have it's 11 pounds of steel, and that's not including the steel that's going to be in the power supply and on the drives. For aluminum heat sinks, we've got 14 ounces, and there's going to be more aluminum in the hard drive and in the power supply. For copper bearing motors, we've got 6 ounces, and again there's going to be one more in the power supply. Alright, so for wire, we've got 15.2 ounces, so about a pound. So a wire in there. We've also got the PCI card. That's 1.5 ounce. We've got this card, which has quite a bit of gold plating in it and gold pins. We've got the motherboard, which, you know, some places will go $3.50 a pound. This is 1 pound 6 ounces. Alright, and we still haven't gone through the power supply. We haven't done the hard drive, and we haven't done the DVD-ROMs. So I'll put that in another video for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment, like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.